My name is Luis Alvarez, and the topic of my presentation is Semana Santa and Easter Day in Spain, and the food culture connected to the festival through the week before Easter Day. First, I must give context where Spain is located on Earth. Spain is located on Europe, more exactly southwest of Europe, as you can see on this arrow right here, and it is adjacent to France up north and Portugal to the west, as you can see on the very left side here. Spain and its food culture were influenced from many different groups and cultures through centuries. However, is most influential by the introduction of Catholicism in the first century, where the historic religious figures such as Paul the Apostle, also known as Saint Paul, and James the Great came into Spain to preach the gospel in the person of Jesus Christ, which the religion later became most of Spaniards' identity in the 4th and 5th century. Catholicism promotes the fasting of certain foods on Fridays, and as we already know, an example would be Lent, and also promotes a healthy diet to maintain good health, as in the Bible refers to. The reason why I chose Spain is because I occasionally eat Spanish dishes as I am Mexican myself, so I want to know if our food cultures are similar or vastly different since we are once a unified country until our independence from Spain. An additional influence to Spain's foods culture is their large abundance of olive oil and fruits and vegetables such as corn and wheat. This may have contributed to having a diverse and ideal climate for most olive oils and having good soil quality to house many types of olive oils and fruits and vegetables in Spain. This reflects in their food culture heavily, which mostly revolves around frying bread and soups and vegetables and having fruits in them. So, you might be asking where exactly is Semana Santa and Easter Day celebrated? So, as we already know, Easter Day is celebrated worldwide, like here in the US, but practiced traditionally as in its religious intent. Semana Santa, also known as Holy Week, and Easter Day are celebrated and practiced traditionally mostly in Hispanic countries such as El Salvador, Spain, Colombia, Mexico celebrate this religious holiday throughout the week before and during Easter. However, it is mostly recognized in Spain due to Semana Santa and Easter being celebrated and originating back in the 16th century, where the first recorded celebration happened in Sevilla, Spain, as you can see on the image to the right. Additionally, Spain takes this religious holiday in high regards in which schools and workplaces are closed during Semana Santa and the streets are filled with extravagant religious imagery and statues such as Jesus Christ and Virgin Mary, with civilians and even tourists coming to see and celebrate this religious event. That being said, Spain is hugely recognized for the celebration of this event holiday, and Sevilla is one of the most cultural and spectacular places to go for this event. As you can see in the top left image, that is a statue of Jesus, and I'm guessing that is from Easter Day, mostly because it's mostly vibrant and colorful, and I'm going to explain why that is. And in the bottom left is Guadalupe. The reason could be is that it's maybe from Good Friday, and I'll also go into that later. And on the image on the right is one of the main routes they take. So they conduct in the parade, right? So I guess from the initial starting point is from the bottom left icon, and they do like a huge route where they go to the up, keep going up, 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 then keep going, making a full circle where they keep going down and return to this icon right there on the bottom left. So now let's go to the what. What is Semana Santa and Easter Day? For a general summary of the holiday is centered around Christianity and Catholicism, where in the Bible states that the religious event leading up to Jesus Christ's death and his resurrection, which is also known as Semana Santa. So the people in Spain celebrate this week by just mourning Jesus Christ when he suffered and died on the cross during Friday before Easter, which is also known as Good Friday. and then celebrating joyfully in colorful parades for his resurrection on Sunday, which is Easter Day. The days before Good Friday, such as Domingo de Ramos, such as Paul Day, the first day of Semana Santa, are relevant during this week, however, are not as important compared to Good Friday and Easter Day in Semana Santa, so we will mainly focus on these Tuesdays as it's mostly dedicated during this week. So on the next slide, this is one of the statues that happens during Good Friday. As you can see, it's the cross. I do not see a Jesus figure. Maybe it's the figure or the statue that is holding the cross. And on the figure on the right, as I mentioned earlier, it's colorful, it's vibrant. They also usually have flowers on the statue. Maybe it indicates like a new life. And in the middle, the man right there is Jesus Christ. Sorry. So, as we already know, Good Friday is a tenth day for Catholics as Jesus Christ died on this day. It is also a day for fasting and absence of certain foods. The absence of certain foods is a must for people following this religion. So, for Catholic Spaniards during Semana Santa, they will often eat fish as a substitute for meat. So, one of the main dishes they will often eat is a dish called paja de villa. Sorry for my Spanish is not really that great. As you see on the top right image, which is a stew made up of chicken peas. You can see some chicken peas right here. Codfish. The codfish, I think I am supposing that is from the bottom, like right below all the vegetables and chicken peas. And they all also have like other leafy greens as well. That's not very often talked about is that they often drink as a pastime during Semana Santa throughout the week, and Good Friday is no different from that. So most will drink at bars as a general celebration of this religious event or as commemoration of his crucifixions and death during Good Friday. You can see in the bottom left, I actually got or actually found an image of these two individuals during Spain. No, these two individuals during Semana Santa in Spain, Sevilla. I am guessing this is from also Good Friday, but yeah, there is also other images of people drinking during the other days. However, I was trying to find exactly Good Friday, and I think this is the best one I could find. So yeah. So conversely, the streets of Easter Day are lively and animated for the celebration of Jesus' resurrection and the return to the living world. The streets, as mentioned earlier, contain vibrant and delightful statues of Jesus and other religious figures related to the Bible, like St. Paul and James the Great. As you can expect, the foods and dishes during this day are often sweets and pastries to celebrate his resurrection, and if one comes to visit during this day, you will find sweets and pastries all over the town. And one you will likely find is a pastry called the Haas, which is bread that is soaked in milk and eggs, and it's kind of similar to French toast, how they are made. But in addition, they are also deep fried in olive oil and possibly add an additional sugar or cinnamon coating around it, and add honey onto it. I gotta sneeze to make it even sweeter for the customers. You could also make you could also make fine a food called pasones, which are fritters and are traditionally made from fried flour covered with honey and the juice from lemon and orange zest, as you can see in two slides from now. And finally, as an exclusive dish only served during Easter, Easter molas are served from bakeries and are donut-shaped buns containing like a hard-boiled egg in the middle on the donut hole, and molas are also topped with chocolate-shaped Easter figures such as bunnies or baby chicks. Kind of like here in the USA, to be honest. And this dish does not always have these toppings or eggs on at the center, and it's often boiled down to like the bakery's design and how they are producing them, which will show be shown in the next two slides. First, I want to see or show you guys the different types of tamales. So as you can see on the top left, this is a tamales after, being deep fried and also covered with milk and eggs. You can see that it's being also covered with honey. In the bottom left is a tamale covered with sugar. And I did not mention this earlier, but there is also tamales covered with chocolate, and it looks really delicious. And yeah, in the next slide, this is what I said earlier. Paninos are just deep fried flour, and they also use like orange and lemon zest during the deep frying process. And these are Easter molas. These are the traditionally Easter molas. As you can see, there is a hard-boiled egg in the middle, but usually what people do is that in the bottom left, in the bottom right, I meant, they make monas and put like these very delicious and decorable like toppings on it, and they put like chocolate baby ducks on it and put in the middle instead of a hard-boiled egg, it's a chocolate egg, which I kind of honestly prefer too. So there's other foods that can be eaten during Semana Santa and Easter days, such as pan quemados, which literally translate to burnt bread, which are sweet and sometimes covered with flour to make it more soft. However, they are not widely eaten across Spain during Easter day, mostly in regions of like Vancela. And in this presentation, I just want to only focus on the foods mentioned from the previous slides, as they are more widely eaten and celebrated with these events, with this event in Spain. Oh yeah, and a final note I want to add before wrapping up is if you want something similar to Easter Monas here in the Bay Area, I recommend going to a Mexican bakery called Ruby Pan Dulce, which serves like roscas, which are like extremely similar to Monas. I also Google it, they're like kind of similar, but with Rosca de Reyes, they're just way more huge, and they also add like different toppings, but I heard that they're like somewhat similar. But yeah, I highly recommend that you guys visit this place because they also have other good pastries and sweets besides these rosca. And yeah, this is my presentation. Thank you for listening and have a good day.